Good morning. I have SNS Construction here, and I have...
Gabriela, Sarabia.
And what is your role?
I am the CEO of SNS Construction and Accounts Payable.
All right, and we have...
Sergio, Sarabia, and I am the COO, General Manager of the company.
Excellent, excellent. I just have a few questions here for the public, and I wanted to ask you guys on what your intake would be. So what events made you both decide to start a roofing business together?
For the most part, I believe it was our family. Being family oriented, being family driven, obviously working for other companies over the years, we were just becoming numbers to them. And I think there's so many companies that's all, they focus on is bottom line, bottom number, and for us it was more of taking care of the family, making sure that everybody within our family is basically a part of it, and getting them to expand with it as well. So I think that prompted us more, and to be together, being able to enjoy one another while we're working too.
That's good. What's your take?
It's also the circumstances, noticing the different lawsuits that we had, and that we were able to connect at another level, not just as a married couple, but as business partners.
It's very impressive, very impressive. How do you manage to maintain a healthy work-life balance, especially as a husband and wife?
It's hard. It's really hard.
Just keeping everything in place, whatever is dealing with business at the office, we deal with it, and then when we go home, we take care of each other as our family, as a couple, not combining those things, because that's when you take it, if you are in the business and you take it too personal, then it follows in the relationship, and that's what we try to avoid, separate.
It's always great that separation.
Yes, it's hard sometimes, and it because business, obviously, we do it for 10, 12 hours a day, and it takes toll. But for the most part, you got to remember always that we're family, we're a husband and wife team, and that was first. And I believe that we should maintain that as being first, and then business, treated separately. So that sometimes it takes toll and it's hard, but it's not something from out of this world, that's for sure.
It's very, very impressive to do, especially at the end of the day when you have that 12-hour day and it's that switching mode.
Yeah.
You want that alone time, that drive home alone time. Coming home and
we do
rebalance.
we do balance it, and making sure that once again that she knows that I get home safe every day. So
that's good. That's very good. What strengths do you each contribute to the success of SNS Construction?
Well, we're
very different.
Yeah, we're I'm more of a go-getter. I like to be hands-on on a lot of things, and going out there meeting customers, and just being the face of SNS, climbing roofs, measuring, doing all sorts of things. Towards Gabby likes to handle everything else, the paperwork for the company, and that's huge. That's huge, because for me, I hate paperwork, but I understand it's a necessary, and without it, a company doesn't exist.
Charismatic face with the analytical individual.
Yeah, more focused, more into what we need to do to be compliant, what we need to have as a requirement, all those things that we have to do as a company.
It's part of the business, of doing business.
How do you balance scaling the business and maintain high quality workmanship?
I think that training is key. We try to give our staff and the crews as well. The overview of making sure that everything that we do it right, and if we don't do it right at the moment, we try to correct it right away in a timely manner so that we can keep that quality of the work.
For the business to grow, you need to make sure that everybody understands which way we're going, and we can't, have some people go that way, some people go this way. So we try to maintain focus, and that requires some training, like she said, and making sure that everybody understands our goals. It meets, gets on board for the same reason, and I think that makes it successful for running a business and making sure that everybody understands that in that aspect.
The quality is there.
Exactly.
How do you create a personalized experience for your clients given your family-oriented approach?
Well, that's, we treat them as family. We treat, we think that any client that we come across, they become part of a family. Because this whole industry and our industry for this company, family is key. So if one client, we start their job and we treat it as, as we would treat our house or like, my sister's house, and make sure that they're taken care of and make sure that everything is well put in place. And I think that's key to making sure that they are taken care of. Because, what's more important out there than family?
That's true.
And also taking the time to get to know the customer, because we cannot treat every customer the same way. Everybody has a different need in their home, and they like it in a different way. So paying attention to those different details that they have, it's also very important to them. And always thinking about what would I do in this situation, or what wouldn't I like if they were to do this in my house. So I think just putting your personal experience out there, it's also helping us take care of our customer better.
That's good. Very good. Can you provide an example of a project where your teamwork resulted in a particularly satisfied customer?
Well, I think there's almost all of the projects are similar, and mainly because everybody has a different role in a company. So being a team member requires putting on different hats. So you got to make sure that everybody understands that in the team, and making sure that when we go out, if there's a problem, everybody would be able to jump in and take care of that customer. So that in itself gives us the ability to be able to take care of anybody, and the whole team knows what to do, and that we can't point out just one single instance. It's multiple, and it's many, and it's on a day-by-day basis.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And just understanding too that no job is going to be without any mistakes. Sometimes we do have adversities, but just taking care of those adversities and making sure that it's well done once that we encounter them, and that the customer is happy. That's what makes our day better.
It's the end goal result.
Yes.
So what strategies have you used to grow the business while maintaining its family-oriented identity?
There's several strategies. We use a lot of technology nowadays that advances even more. From CRMs to Google, and using the website, and all these little things that help us, even with our vendors or the companies we purchase, the suppliers that we have. They have a lot of tools that we can use, and taking advantage of those, I think, really helps us.
Ever-changing industry.
Exactly. So it's always important to know that you have all these things and all these people that are willing to help to advance your business and make sure that you're doing it right. So
fantastic.
And setting up a reliable resource team, the vendors, the accounting services, all this that is part of your team to keep it on track and to keep it, as compliant as possible.
So it's not just internal team members, but your external team members.
Correct.
Exactly.
Colorado has some wild experiences, various weather conditions. How do you ensure your roofing projects are well suited for your local climate?
Well, we had the experience, I think, we've been almost 30 years into roofing here in Colorado by itself. So we know and we understand the weather.
So we have some rain going on
Yeah. It's always everywhere, ever changing. They say that if you don't like it, just wait 5 minutes and it'll change. So, that understanding makes us do and even from the morning, from the get-go, watching the weather, watching, the forecast, making sure that we're all on the same page again, from the installers, the guy that delivers the trailer, the supervisor, everybody, making sure that we're all on the same page. And, if something changes, that we're ready. We're ready with tarps, or we're ready in one shape or form to make sure that we don't have a catastrophe with that.
A lot of people's homes are exposed.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the most important part that we care for, is for them to understand and know that we are going to make sure they're taken care of.
I think it's the communication. Everything is communication. If you communicate everything,
You're always ahead.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. That's great. So being in your Hispanic heritage, have you encountered situations where your ability to speak Spanish has been particularly advantageous in your roofing projects?
All the time. Yeah, all the time. I mean,
It's the industry.
the industry in itself, it employs, I would say 98% are Hispanic heritage in one shape or form, Latins. That's the workforce nowadays. And, you have to a certain point, understand them in itself, and making sure that they understand what they're going, or what they're doing. That way they can fulfill the end goal, as it's supposed to be, not, just haphazardly. Sometimes that's what you encounter out there. They hire these guys and they send them off, and they don't understand what they're doing.
Especially Spanish is a very blanket term, and it's very diverse. There's so many dialects and forms spoken between different cultures. That's always changing.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Spanish.
I think it's also gives us that identity where the crews can come and can tell us what they think. They can also feel part of that project that we are doing, instead of being there and they don't own it. So it's a different. It just changes the point of view once that you relate to them the importance of that one project in their language. So that it's a very big advantage that we have.
Speaking it, but also living the culture.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. It helps. It helps a lot, and that way, they also feel that they're part of this company, not just a worker for the company, but because of that, it makes them feel at home as well.
More proud.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And for
what
that,
they do.
and for that in itself, they care more of what they do.
That's good. What steps do you take to prevent work-related discussions from overflowing into your personal time?
Yeah.
So
They're hard
there is-
rules.
we always have some ongoing discussions for one thing or the other, for the different projects or different things that are ongoing in the company. But as a family, we have one day that we dedicate just to family time. And in that family time, we have put as a rule that we are not to discuss any business. And even though sometimes we have attempted not to do it, we end up doing 1 or 2 minutes, and one of us will remind each other that we are there just for family, not for business.
Yeah.
And that has improved a lot our quality of life in the business and outside of
It's
it.
very important.
Yeah, it helps, I mean, to have that family night. That's what we call it, family night. It's just for that reason, because, you know, we invest, you know, 10, 12 hours a day in the company, and every day, I mean, 6 days a week sometimes, and it takes toll, you know, with a family, obviously. But when we get home, we try to shut off the work-related stuff. And the same thing, you know, when we come into work, we try to shut off what's the family or problems or anything. We try to leave them at home, and then maintain and focus on work.
It's really easy to drone into that work.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and it's easy to, you know, to start intertwining both the problems from there or problems from home, or vice versa. So it's a little bit hard, but I think that we have balanced it at this point to where, like she said, you know, we remind each other. You know, we remind each other that work is work, and right now we're enjoying family time, because or else we wouldn't have a family. You know, this is what we're doing it for family, not you know, to be a number out there.
That's gold. Yeah, very gold. What are your long-term goals for the business, and how do you plan to achieve them?
We're building a brand just to build a business that is recognized, that is reliable, that the name means that they are with a serious company, that they will get their roofs done, and that they will not be worrying about it being well taken care of or well installed, or that it's a serious company. That's what we want to build.
Professional.
Yes, a professional.
Yeah, that's key. I mean, because there are companies out here that have been around for a long time, and you see them that they start deteriorating over time because of they start losing that spark. So SConstruction, I think that on the contrary, we're starting to grow, but at the same time we maintain it to where it doesn't go out of proportion, to where we don't start focusing on the jobs at hand. So, you know, versus other companies that have, you know, let's say 50 projects, 100 projects, and that's great, you know, for the bottom line, but, you know, are you really taking care of those individually? You know, we might do 30 homes a year, but, you know, it's well taken care of. It's maintaining, and it is focusing on each one.
You set your love and
Exactly. Yep. Into those. Yep. Into each individual, and we treat them as, you know, like I said, like family. That way, you're taken care of. Instead of, you know, it's great to have a bottom number, but, you know, when you're losing that integrity, I think you're losing everything.
It reacts over time.
Exactly.
How do you envision your legacy of your roofing company within your family?
Well, that's something that we've been working on for, you know, all this time, and that's what we're leaving is a legacy where it would grow to the point to have that integrity, to have that honesty, and being able to be one of the leading companies out there that has that and recognize of that, so that, you know, others can carry it. And that would be, you know, ultimately our own family, to making sure that they love what they're doing and be able to expand with it.
And that they are proud of the things that we do every day. So I think it is very important that they are part of it, because they understand the value of it in the end. So later on, when we decide that we are at an age where we are not able to work as hard, then they can follow up on those steps.
Enjoy the spoils of your hard work.
Exactly. Yeah, That's nice. That's the end key,
the
end goal.
end goal.
Yeah.
I guess one last question on my behalf is, what does SNS stand for?
It's Sarabia and Sarabia. So for the longest time, you know, we at one point we were going to branch off with other family members, and now it's Sarabia and Sarabia.
That's great.
So
Yes.